Welcome to the Anime Research Society podcast, brought to you by CG Magazine and the Pixels and Ink podcast. Our mission, to explore the depths of anime, the good, the bad, and the absolutely insane. We'll take a look at some of the best and worst shows of the season and give you some recommendations to lead you on your own research journey. I'm your host, Preston Doza, and joining us today are our panel of experts, Cole Watson.
I absorb trash for a living.
That's real cool. Lisa Mior.
I was on mute, but now I'm not. Hi, everybody!
Showing how great she is with computers. And last but not least, Remington Joseph.
I'm really glad Anime 2018 is done.
Yeah, I'm glad too.
It was just an ongoing event.
Yeah, it was the longest event of the season.
2018 never ended.
Yeah,
it's
2018
still going.
This year was so traumatizing.
Well, this week, we can't quite let go of 2018 because we have a very special episode this week. And by very special, I mean we're diving into the dumpster fires. We're diving into the polluted landfills. That is the worst shows of 2018.
Heaven help us.
We're going to take a look and we're going to discuss some of the worst shows of the past season. Because, let's be real, there were a lot of bad ones. Like, a lot of bad ones.
I don't think we had a single episode where we went with one show that was not bad.
And the best part is that each of us at some point were like, this show looks good, and then we watched it and it somehow became one of the worst that we've seen of that season. Like each of us were like, yeah, this can't be that bad, and then we watch it and we're like, oh dear God. What have we done?
It was worse than just the season at times. This is the worst of this genre.
Yeah. And on that note,
there were multiples of the worst of this genre. That's the kicker. And I just said that's the kicker.
Well, that's the kicker.
That's a new catchphrase.
That's the kicker. Laugh track. Anyways, we're going to start our journey, our dumpster diving, with my pick for the worst show of the year. The alternate title for this show is I Hate You, Remington. But the main title for the show is Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody.
Oh God!
Coming out strong.
Which is all of ours.
Which is an isekai about a young gaming programmer who takes a nap and wakes up in a world that resembles a fantasy RPG. And before he could do anything, due to some broken items and spells that he's got, he becomes pretty much the most powerful person in this fantasy universe, becomes insanely rich. And then he goes on an adventure. Oh God, this show sucks so bad. It's so bad.
This was the road that Sword Art Online led us down. This is how we got here.
It's like, God, I don't like... Lots of isekai stuff are the same trap where they don't have, like... And I'm talking about, like, the non-original ones. Like, Sword Art was one of, like, the original ones. And, like, looking back on it, you can see it follows through many of the things that will become more common in later ones. But a lot of the bad ones present us with a protagonist who's, like, average. Like, he has no real likable qualities, but he's average. And that, therefore, makes him, like, bad. Like, because he's completely uninteresting. And there's no reason why anyone should like this person.
But they all do.
Death March's main character is Ichiro Suzuki, and I cannot tell you for the life of me what his, like, personality is. Like, I see, like, a blank face with a question mark on it when I look back on it.
Oh, but that's because he's supposed to be you, Preston!
God.
And so, that guy.
My favorite trope, it's the worst!
So can we talk about... I
understand the placing of characters like that, but who wants to be that guy?
Yeah, he's just so unlikable. And it gets worse because this isekai is special because it features child slavery.
Oh, gotta love it.
And not only does it feature child slavery, it's like, it's good to be a child slaver in this one.
They handle it very lightly.
Like, I'm looking at two screenshots right now of the guy acquiring like 2 child slaves, and one of them's like a cat like, the other one's dog like, and it's a dude being like, no, these are your official slaves, and then it cuts to the 2 like 11-year-olds who are like, yay. I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah. I kind of
made a good purchase today.
Like,
I'm not returning these.
The show actually The show actually like tries to make it seem like actually it's okay to own child slaves, and I'm like, hold up.
And that's like the tip of that's the worst part. This is just a small fraction of like the bad things wrong with this thing. Like
there's an adult woman in a child's body who brainwashes the main character and attempts to have sex with him while he sleeps, and it's like, funny joke.
Like, there's nothing acceptable.
Was this in like the first 3 episodes? I don't remember that.
Did you watch?
Like, I ended up diving into it, like reading up on it, not watching, because I was like, okay, how trash does this really get? Because the first 3 episodes are pretty awful, and it ends up getting worse, much to my like horror.
I don't know.
You are a brave soul.
No, seriously, how'd you do that? Because I lasted about 5 episodes before I was just like, and I'm done. When you're making like ethical choices about, well, I could just kill everyone here or just kill like a handful of people over here because I just feel like it. I was just like, I don't understand. I don't get it.
Here's another quote, actual verbatim quote by the main character. Like, I pulled up in a preparation for this several screen caps that just show how bad this is. Here's one. If she was 10, no, 20 kilograms later, I'd totally go for that. To a random woman that he just met. Like, in a store. Like, what the hell? Like,
But he does that for everybody in the entire series.
It's like,
it's just this gross guy.
It's also got some primo animation quality, and by primo animation, I mean, oh my god, someone just put a GIF with 2 frames and then repeated it for like 5 seconds.
I also love the skill choices in this game.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
I never knew that before in my MMORPG that I needed the skill kidnapping, but, now I need it.
Well, apparently you do, because, you need to kidnap more slaves.
That's true open world gameplay.
Oh,
like,
God.
I feel like...
Thank you, Bethesda, for the choice to do whatever I want.
Like, I think with this show, like, it's not just a bad isekai. I think that if you stood still and were like, oh, like, I'm just gonna blindfold myself, spin around 10 times, and then I'm gonna, like, throw a rock at an isekai, you'd come up with a better show than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It says a lot when, like, child slavery is good is just the tip of the iceberg for how bad this show is.
So true. Yeah, it was such a dumpster fire. It was so much of a dumpster fire that we could not stop talking about how bad this anime was from the time that we did the episode. That On the Death March became our like go-to for referring to anything as being, trash.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Like, God, it's just so bad. Just don't watch this. Look up screen caps if you will, if you don't believe me about some of these quotes, because they're insane in the worst way possible.
I think I can speak for all of us when we have nominated this one as hands down the worst of the year. In fact, the episode's over. Good night, everybody. Like, you can't get worse than this one. It's not, though. Don't worry, Preston.
The 2018 anime year that started with the Death March.
This is the kind of series that would turn somebody off of anime, like, immediately.
Yeah.
It's do not introduce anime to anyone with this series, ever. In fact, long-time watchers of the series, do not let them watch this, because it's going to, destroy their whole, sight of it. I don't know how we survived.
Dad, I know that we loved Megalobox. It's time to move on to Death March, okay?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That is my pick
that was
for the
definitely
worst.
a good pick for the worst.
Can we not talk about this anime ever again?
God, please, let's not. Let's not.
You might rear its head again. I can't promise.
It's in the vault. Scott, I can't go back to this. I've just finally got over it. It's taken us a few months. I'm finally over this anime. in the vault.
In preparation for this episode, I dove back in to research it, and I was like, oh, is this as bad as I remembered it being? And looked at, oh god, no, it's worse. But we're going to move on. That was my pick for the worst. And you know who has a real interesting pick? It's Cole Watson, who really, really loves mech anime. Don't you, Cole?
Okay, 2018. Bad year for Cole Watson. Okay, I'm just going to say that right now. Bad year. I'm a part of two specific fandoms. I love my mechs, and I love Godzilla. 2018 did me wrong. Let's start with the train wreck known as Gundam Build Divers. Oh, I'm feeling like I'm having a heart attack already just mentioning that name.
I'm going to need your full recap because I remember nothing about this anime. And I'm really happy
that I watched that because I don't remember any of it.
I know it exists. That's about it.
So that's what I can say. It exists. It is a toy commercial, but unlike the previous Build Fighter series where it treated the material with respect, it gave a bunch of Easter eggs and references to mobile suits and series that were never previously animated. Gundam Build Divers is just a toy commercial, but it's worse because it throws in this MMORPG element with, I don't even know, GBN, I think it's called. I almost forgot, but
You almost forgot.
These suit designs, you know, I have unloaded I don't know how many missile salvos of hate towards this series. The animation's piss poor, the designs are terrible, the characters are just some of the most scum of the earth that I believe have ever been written. Let's talk about Maggie, let's talk about Wolf Job, let's talk about Mary Sue, Riku.
I was reminded, speaking of Wolf Job, I was in Japan in September, and I went to the Gundam base, and I took a photo of, and sent it to Cole, of Wolf Job. I can't remember his actual character name, but they had standees of them at the actual Gundam base in Tokyo.
He doesn't have a name. It's Wolf Job. It doesn't matter.
It might as well be.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the new normal here.
I'm officially dubbing the character in the English dub. I hope you all enjoy. Thrilling performance.
You don't actually have any dialogue. Everything. You just bark. You just bark like
exactly.
A dog.
So Cole, yeah, what hurts me even more is that this is getting a second season.
Wait, what?
Really?
Yes.
Wait,
Gundam's
seriously?
40th anniversary had a press conference where it's like, okay, everyone, let's all gather around. Let's enjoy the Gundam fandom. Okay, Bandai, I'm ready. I'm ready for you to just dump on all of my dreams. Okay, Hathaway's Flash. Okay, that's pretty good. Gundam NT. Oh, yeah, once again. Gundam Build Divers Season 2. What the hell are you doing? We want to be rid of this! But no.
Gundam Build Divers is saving the Gundam franchise.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
You're never going to get a real Gundam ever again, Cole.
That is real Gundam now. As far as I'm concerned, that's real Gundam.
Only
even
Gundam Build Divers.
Even Iron-Blooded Orphans, they were teasing that there was going to be a new anime for that. It's not. It's a mobile game.
Oh, come on.
I love Sunrise.
It just continues to hurt me.
They're so good.
And so I will say that's Build Divers. I want to be rid of it, but it is an eternal scar on my body, in my mind.
You know what? Just go through some therapy. You can get over it real quick.
Yeah, I want to talk to a therapist.
Why don't you watch a monster movie to recover?
Okay, I'll watch the Godzilla Netflix movies that are just god-awful. So, I know I never mentioned these previously when we were doing our episodes, but they were coming out throughout the year. And I was basically sold on the movies as this is the biggest Godzilla ever. It's more Godzilla after the masterpiece that was Shin. And now we've also included Mechagodzilla and King Ghidorah into the stories. It's going to be a great trilogy. I'm kind of negative on the CGI, but I'm optimistic. Let's give it a shot. This is a terrible trilogy throughout. The worst part is that this should not be a Godzilla movie, because the core themes of it are just the coexistence of humanity with other life forms. This does not work as a Godzilla movie. There is not a single monster fight that Godzilla genuinely has. They tease Mechagodzilla. Instead, in the second movie, it's just a city with turrets. How exciting. I don't get a single monster fight. Ghidorah is just 3 disembodied heads that if you believe he exists, you can defeat him. Wow.
What?
Powerful stuff.
No, hold up. We're not skipping past this. I'm sorry. So, if you don't believe he exists, he could kill you. But if you believe he exists, you could kill him?
Yes. With Ghidorah's fight, it becomes
Wouldn't people believe him if they see him?
They're fighting him?
You could kill him?
They look at their scouters and it says he does not exist. Thus, they believe he does not exist.
But
why would they even be looking at their
eyes,
scouters?
Right? Like
do. He does not exist, Preston.
No,
as much as he is staring at you.
Seen? Like, can they oh, he's 5 inches from me. I'm looking at him. I recognize this. He's not invisible, right?
Like, you can see him. He can physically harm you. Everything you do to it just goes right through it. You do not believe.
Wow, it's Godzilla Bird Box. That's great.
Oh my god.
You know what? I watched this. I made it to the second one. The first one was enough to keep my attention. I made it to the second one. I don't remember the second one at all. I barely remember the first one. It bored me to tears because it just had characters that I hated so much. They were all awful, awful people. Our lead character was just the most deplorable person who was just, all he wanted to do was kill Godzilla, to the point where he'd be like, you don't know, is he with this one team? Is he with another team? It doesn't matter. He just hates everybody and Godzilla. And then the main female protagonist that we had in there was just like his lackey who was just following him around, and I don't understand why, because he was a total jerk the entire time. There was nothing redeemable about him, and it was just, the characters were just so bad, and everybody else was just like a stupid trope who was meant to fill apart and then eventually, I guess, die or something, or kill something. I don't know. I don't care. I didn't get past the second movie, so I have no idea. But it's really bad and really boring.
So Lisa says that the main character, Haruo, is deplorable. I want to give you context to that. In the third movie, he knocks up one of the Mothra twins, and then, once he decides that, hey, I'm the only one left that hates Godzilla, I'm going to take my old lover, abandon my now pregnant wife, and I'm gonna go kamikaze myself into Godzilla so that I am the end of the hate.
Because he's a hero.
He is such a hero, such a big boy.
Okay. Here's my one question.
Manly.
Here's my one question.
Yes.
Is there child slavery?
No. There is no child slavery.
No, wait, there's no child slavery, but there was one, like, really devoted religious cult, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so there is...
Yeah.
There is the Belissarudo, which praise just nanomachines, and then there is the Exif, who are like a cult, who drag you into it, and then just... They want to sacrifice you to Ghidorah, because that's their god, who also ironically destroyed their world. And they're like, yeah, we love this guy. He killed our world. And now we're going to just move from world to world with him, and he's just going to destroy that one too. I love religion.
It was a piece.
What powerful themes. This movie wants to be an Evangelion, like this trilogy wants to be that. But it's neither Godzilla or Eva. It's just this weird...
Wow.
Oh, can we just talk about the Godzilla design? Now, I liked how he was enormous, and it felt really huge the way it was, like, the way they depicted it. But, Cole, you were absolutely right. That face.
He is a derpy boy who does not have dentures.
it's just there's nothing scary about that face.
Haruo just continuously reminds her, this is a demon. He took over Earth. We're gonna fight him back. He's just a lumbering fat lard with a derp face.
I'm with you. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
That's disappointing because I was looking forward to watching new Godzilla movies, and
Don't watch those ones.
yeah, and I
Look
just
forward to Legendaries.
Don't.
Legendaries looks good.
yeah.
Legendary does look
Yeah,
very good. But it's not an anime. We need to stick to
It's
bad
not
anime. Which brings us to Remington.
All right, now my bad anime, the worst anime, one of the worst I've seen possibly ever, is Basilisk, the Ōka Ninja Scrolls. I watched the original Basilisk in preparation for this. I was so excited. I was like, "Oh man, they're bringing back an old property. Looks cool. Why not? I'm down for some ninja action." But this is the worst Naruto fanfiction I've ever seen. This is so bad. So somehow the main woman of the first series was able to give birth to twins despite having killed herself, and there was zero time for her to have children. Her love interest was like on the other side of the country. So I don't know how this happened.
The
Like
way
already
I
you have-
heard it was that Hanzo like resurrected them temporarily. They got it on, and then they had children. I'm like, what?
What is that? That makes no sense. Okay, so you've got, they've somehow forced these two ninja clans into this weird almost coexistence, and it looks terrible. None of the characters they're all supposed to just be the exact same characters, even though they have different names. They all look like they're trying to be clones, but because the animation style's so bad, you can't recognize them.
And now with weird incest.
Yeah, and for some reason, the love interests are those two twins. Why are they the love interest for the series? It makes no sense. Why are they pushing incest on it? They didn't have to. There's just nothing redeemable about this. They have like these Naruto powers now. People are turning to steel. They're using like weird weapons that use magic, and it's so bad. It's so bad. Like, how do you go and just ruin a classic anime like that?
Very easily. You do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like, Boruto is doing more justice.
I mean, Boruto's
More
not
justice to Naruto than Basilisk.
Yeah, Boruto's looking like a masterpiece. Like, Boruto's looking like One Piece quality writing next to this. It's so bad.
God.
It's just like none of the characters have personalities beyond what the original characters did. They just have the exact same personality. Except now it's forced in like 5 minutes because they don't actually want to develop any of them.
I assume the fights are extremely generic, unlike the original series, where it actually took like brains and smarts to figure out.
I mean,
how to
when they
do
happen,
things.
you barely get to see them. It's just like photo frames. It's like they did one image and just copied it for the entire episode.
Oh, beautiful. Just
They
beautiful.
ruined everything, and it upsets me so much. It's just the worst. I can't do it.
So,
Okay, so what you're saying is don't watch it.
yeah.
I'm saying binge it on a Saturday. No, I'm saying
No.
don't watch it.
You're listening to this description, and I'm just only starting to realize this. This is just me briefly going back to Death March. But every time you describe something, I keep on thinking in my head, yeah, but it doesn't have child slavery. As if, like, that's the new low bar that we're setting.
It kind of does. They're all children.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Are they slaves?
All these
They are
ninjas
slaves to
children
their
being
clan.
forced to fight.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
they're slaves to their clans. So yeah, it has
Broad
child
speaking.
slaves.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Basilisk, aka Bad Naruto?
Just stop making sequels to animes that have clear endings.
All right.
They don't need them.
I, for one, am looking to the One Piece sequel in 25 years. Moving on. Lastly, we have Lisa.
Guys, I watched a lot of bad stuff this year.
We know.
I watch a lot of bad stuff in general, but I watched a lot of really bad stuff this year. I'm going to start with one that is going to not take me very long to get into because it hits all of our X's this year. It's a really bad isekai. It does have child slavery.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's How Not to Summon a Demon Lord.
Yep.
I don't even need to describe it. It's an isekai. A guy comes back. He's a demon lord he's overpowered, and every episode is like this, trying to be ecchi with like the pure fan service for a good solid 15 minutes at the end of the episode. 15 minutes, guys. It's like half the episode where it's just like all this ecchi, like harem nonsense, and there's nothing redeemable about this at all. Like, it's literally a formula for fan service. Like, it's the worst. I honestly think I was gonna ignore this one because it's just worth ignoring. It's not. This is up there with Death March in terms of it should not have even been made. It's just so bad. Like, just you can get still images on the internet for this, okay? Like, you don't need an anime over it. That's it. I made it to about 2 episodes.
It's hard to trust animes that have the premise in the title.
Yeah. I was expecting
It's hard to trust anime in general.
That is true.
I was expecting a wacky comedy. I was not expecting 15 minutes of fan service at the end. I was just like, come on, this is stupid. So, like, you didn't even try. Like, you didn't even try. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about that. Did you guys watch it at all? No? You're smart.
Yeah, no. I saw it and I'm like, I'm never gonna watch this.
One I had a lot of thoughts about was that I hated probably more than I hated this one, but I hate the one I'm going to say next even more, and that's really hard. And it's called Angels of Death. Now, this anime, the whole point of it is, I don't know. That's its greatest flaw is this anime makes no sense. There is no reason for any of the things that are happening. It's just kind of, I guess it's supposed to be an exploration of like the dark side of the human mind and what insanity means and what does it mean to be saved, I guess. So it stars our main protagonists, which we learn lots of stuff towards the end. I actually did watch the whole thing because apparently I hate myself.
Clearly.
All the way to like, so she wakes up in this, I guess, tower of death traps that she needs to escape. And in the first one, she has to escape this serial killer with a scythe named Zach. And she teams up with him to try to get through the rest of it, and she asks him to kill her throughout the entire. That's the running theme. Zach, will you kill me? Through the entire thing, and it's trying so hard to be this like gross version of edgy, dark, like playing up on like what people think that gothy emo people are into in terms of like horror and like darkness in their souls. In like the first off, either way too fluffy versions of it, like very clean, or really stupid. And it's just like it's supposed to be a gory murder fest, but like 90% of the time you don't even see any action. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be tense, but there's like no tenseness to it because we know that there's 14 or 16. It's a bizarre number of episodes. 16 episodes coming out, and we know this main protagonist has to make it to the end of it because that is the premise that they've set up for the entire thing. It doesn't even look good. Like it's dark. It's like dark, weird, muted colors on things. It's got this ridiculous religious church overtone that keeps coming on with this priest character that makes his appearance halfway through the season, and it's basically her trying to understand. Like it quotes like these like really artificially deep lines. All right, where it's like asking, "Who are you?" throughout the entire thing. That's literally the lines are like, "Who are you? What do you mean?
Why are we
what
here?
Is God? What is God?" All throughout the entire series, and it takes itself so seriously. It's just like, I'm so smart.
I'm 14 and this is genius.
I swear to God, guys,
I'm
when
14
I was 12 and I
and
was
this
writing
is deep.
Yeah. When I was 12 and writing poetry, and you all were there, don't you lie to me. It could have been better than the writing on this show. It was just so bad. And it didn't even end. Like, it ends, I guess, the way you expect it to end. It's just stupid. It's really stupid. And
I've always thought
that's
the edgiest question is, what do you mean?
Yeah. I'm not even joking. I think that's actually one of the questions is, what do you mean? What is meaning? Like, it's so bad.
God.
Yeah, don't watch it. So those are my 2 picks for the absolute worst. I almost wish we did an episode on one of these 2 shows, because I think we may have forgotten about Death March.
No,
I've tried to.
I
did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, I did a good job forgetting it, and then I saw more of it, and I realized, oh no, God, dear God, no, please stop.
I can't believe you made it through the whole thing.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched like 4 episodes, and then I looked up the rest, and I saw screen caps of like stills for it. And I was just like, oh my God, like you can't even claim that's out of context. That's just bad.
Yeah, we still need to be on hiatus if you watch the whole thing.
God.
Yeah, poor Preston.
Can't wait for season 2.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a season 2? You're not joking, right?
If there is, I'm done with anime. There cannot be.
Well, what is the one we
man.
gave worst of season that literally we gave it to just because it had a sequel, that it was getting one?
I want to say Gancrest War, because I know Gancrest.
Gancrest War got a
second season for sure.
No, it was the bed and breakfast thing.
It got a second season.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that in depth. It was not a good anime, but
The Fist of the Blue Sky one, which is Fist of the North Star prequel. Yeah, Cole made the summary for what it's about there. Oh man,
Yeah.
Grand Crest War.
Yeah, that's all you gotta say.
Grand Crest War.
got a second
Grand
season.
Crest War has a second season,
Does
a
it
mobile game.
have a second season? Like it's getting one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh bullshit.
The worst thing is that I saw it on some people's best of.
I don't.
It's
see,
up
I
there.
don't understand some of these reviews. Like, why are some of these shows getting so?
I saw
much
a review
renown?
of Death March that it's like, this is a lighthearted adventure. I'm just like, shut up, you stupid idiot. God.
My favorite part was when he employed the child slaves.
Yeah, he's keeping them
My
apart.
favorite part was the boobs.
Oh God.
Just liked it for the boobs.
Nothing light about those.
My favorite. Oh God. Lolly slaves. God, that entire show is just trash. Is there?
Okay, let's look at. Oh, go ahead.
I can't talk about bad shows anymore. I want to look towards the future.
Yeah, and it looks like 2019 is shaping up to look pretty good.
It's starting off strong with a couple good shows. I hope they're good. I hope they're good, and they don't turn out to be Death March.
Yeah, hopefully, because we're saying this very early.
Yeah, like. Well,
there's plenty of time
next
for them to go down the drain.
Next episode, we'll be diving back into the 2019 shows. I'm excited. I'm excited
about what we're gonna watch, because I already started watching it upon your recommendation. So I'm looking forward to actually enjoying a show for a change.
We can dream. We can dream.
That's a foreign concept.
No. 2018's over, guys. 2019's here. Brings with it new shows, things we'll actually enjoy watching. That's
positive vibes.
Positive vibes,
guys.
And we're extending those positive vibes to you. Thank you for listening to the Anime Research Society. Tune into CG Magazine, SoundCloud, or your favorite podcast app to listen to the continuing adventure of the Anime Research Society, brought to you by CG Magazine and the Pixels and Ink podcast. Have a question or comment for the Society? Tweet at us at @A_R_Society, or you can follow us find us all on Twitter. Cole.
At Kaiser_Watson.
Remington.
At Remington Joseph.
Lisa.
At Lisa Awesome with no E's.
And you can follow me at Preston Doza, spelled DOZSA. You can also leave a comment at CG Magazine at cgmagonline.com. Want more from CG Magazine and Pixels and Ink? Follow us on Twitter at CGMagOnline, Facebook, CG Magazine, Instagram at CG Magazine, and YouTube, CG Magazine. From everyone here at the Anime Research Society, happy researching.